I was having a conversation with God this morning about something that I had went through this year. And there was someone that he assigned to me to help me in the midst of that. Me and this person believe things. We completely see things different when it comes to Christ, God, spirituality, and things like that. And I asked him, I said, you use someone who doesn't believe in you. And he said, no. He said, she knows me, but her pride and her hurt won't allow her to come back to me. I said, oh. Had to sit on that for a little bit of a minute because I had to figure out what that meant. I said, her pride and her hurt won't allow her to come back to me. And I said, Lord, you're going to have to make this clear to me so I can better understand what that means. Before he makes this clear to me and gives me the most mind-blowing analogy that I have ever had God give me, he told me, because I was sitting outside in my bathroom, and he told me to go to your prayer closet. So I sat down on the floor of my prayer closet, and he revealed everything to me. And he said, you've seen a wounded puppy before. You have seen a puppy neglected, hurt, abused, abandoned by humans, by human beings, by people. And that puppy, when that puppy is alone with those wounds and that hurt, that puppy now has associated pain with humans. It is associated hurt with humans. And so if you see that puppy out and you see someone tries to come in and get the puppy, someone tries to come up to the puppy, here boy, you know, whatever, that puppy is not going to trust that human. That puppy is going to be afraid. So that puppy's going to either growl at them, going to run away, going to try to attack them. It's going to do something like that. And he said, that's the same thing. And the only way that a puppy then, that puppy who has been hurt and abused and abandoned and mistreated by humans, the only way that that puppy can come back and trust a human again is when the right, loving, patient, compassionate, kind human comes in and gives that puppy something and keeps showing up for that puppy until that puppy finally lets its guards down, until that puppy finally allows itself to be vulnerable, to trust that human being. And then that human being can bring that puppy into their custody and treat that puppy back to health. I sat down after that to talk to my mom about it on the phone and to really break through. And she said that just gave her chills. And I said, my God, what was revealed to me is how so many people run away from God because life, people have hurt them. And sometimes they believe that God allowed certain things to happen. And they get disappointed, abused, mistreated, violated, offended, betrayed, and hurt deeply to the point to where they don't even trust God as well. And what God showed me when he said, the pride in her wound won't allow her to come back to me, what he revealed then is the root is not the pride. The root is the wound. But the pride is the part that shows up to try to protect that person's wound. And so what God revealed to me is that he sees the broken child. He sees the hurt person. He sees the wound. He sees the tears. He sees the distress. He sees the pain that they have gone through. And when he makes attempts to come in by using vessels, my God, on today, they won't allow him in. They won't allow God to come in and touch that wound and to treat that wound, because in order for us to come back to God so he can heal our wound, we have to, it takes a level of humility. It takes a level of vulnerability, of surrenderance, of trusting God, of depending on God that our pride will not allow us to do. So like the puppy with humans, oh my God, when God comes near, we hide from him. We resist him. We run from him. We put up our guards, or we fight him. We try to substitute God in many ways because our pride won't allow us to come back to God, who we know. We know God can heal and restore us, but our pride won't allow us to believe it, which is the reason why God hates pride. That's it. It just, all of this makes sense. Pride shows up in so many ways. And if you think of the analogy of the puppy, I want you to think of how puppies are. Once a person comes in and is gentle with them and loves them and cares for them and heals them and brings them back to health, that puppy now clings on to that person. And if we humbled ourselves and worked through that pride and really surrendered that to God and allowed Him to walk us through the different layers of it, and we get to actually see how gentle and compassionate and understanding and patient and thoughtful and loving God is. And we watch how God comes in and He touches that wound, and He comes through and He goes through the layers of the hurt and the pain, and He goes through everything that is stopping that wound from healing. And when He gets to that place where He heals that wound, when we get to that level, how we cling on to God